What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Ghost Guide video. Today we're going to be talking about the Mare. If you would like to see my settings for this particular mission, it'll be in the description box below. Without further ado, let's go talk about the Mare. All right, welcome in. We have found our ghost room. There's a cup on the ground. Oh, and an orb. It looks like it's outside. Can somebody explain to me why that orb is outside? You did just bonk on a window. Where? Oh, I left my EMF over here. Hold up. Am I gonna make it in time? I am not. That was definitely EMF 3, that throw. I need my UV light though. That might have been not in time, so I'm not gonna take that 100% just yet. Okay, we just touched this door, so I will definitely check there. All right, so no UV. Not gonna cross it out just yet because Obakas exist. So do mimics. Mimicking Obakas, I should say. Okay, 7.8. Where are you? Are you near? Are you far? All right, let's go. I like to put the spirit box on the ground and talk to it while I'm checking for other evidence, because sometimes things will be thrown and I need to go check for EMF or UV or freezing. And it's just a good way to multitask. So we do have spirit box. We have orbs in spirit box, I should say. Mare yokai on Rio. So we're gonna either have freezing. We don't have UV, so I'm gonna cross out mimic. Unless we got unlucky and several times this mimic did not leave UV evidence. Oh wait, we have writing. It's a mare, not the mare. Okay, let me start flicking light switches for now. And actually, I'm gonna go grab a smudge stick too, because mares can hunt early in the dark. In the light, they will hunt at 40% sanity. In the dark, they will hunt at 60% sanity. So if you want to weaken a mare, you're gonna turn the lights on. However, it's gonna try to move away from the lights. Now, one of the key characteristics of a mare is its signature mare ability. Wait. Whoa. I might have tried that a little too soon. It may have just mared me and I didn't see it. Shoot. Shoot, I was a little too quick on the draw. Sometimes the mare takes a little bit longer to do its ability than others, and I think that's what happened there. I think it did actually do its ability, and I just kind of messed it up. So mares physically cannot turn on lights. However, this is different if it's a computer or a TV, the ghosts. A mare can turn those on. And the mare can also turn on the lights, the motion sensor lights at the new Bleasdale map. All right, our mare turned off our breaker, so let's go ahead and turn that back on. Mares can turn on and off the breaker. They are not incapable of turning on the breaker, as confusing as that sounds. They can in fact turn it on, but they cannot turn on light switches. Now, in order for a mare to do its ability, each light switch has a 10-second cooldown. So you can't sit there and spam the light switch to get the mare to do its ability. The mare also has to be within 4 meters of the light switch in order to be able to perform a mare ability. Apparently, if you attempt to turn on a light switch before the cooldown is up, it will restart the cooldown. So it's important to wait those 10 seconds and then try the light switches again and see if you can get a mare ability. I'm fairly certain we had a mare ability there. It was like, I was too quick. I was too quick on the draw. The mare can use its ability even if the fuse box is turned off or broken, but not if the light is shattered. We were talking about this the other day on whether or not the mare would be able to do this if the light were shattered. And if the light is shattered, it cannot do the mare ability, which is such a pain in the butt, not gonna lie. But if the breaker is off or the breaker is broken, it can still do its ability. This ability also works if the ghost is currently doing a ghost event as well. All right, we're gonna keep flicking these lights until we get a good example of a mare ability. But just again, another reminder, the ghost can hunt at 60% sanity in the dark, 40% in the light. So you can really weaken a mare by turning on the lights. But you don't want to turn them on too often because, well, it's gonna roam away. And then you're gonna have to go track down your stinking mare again. Okay, I just got mared there. That was a very fast mare ability. I don't know if you can see that. The one in the middle The one in the middle, because there's no arrow, that was our Mare ability. So the second I turn on a light switch, it immediately turned off our light switch. So it's gonna be a little bit before we can get another Mare ability, so I'm gonna let those kind of reset. We're gonna try again, but the 60-40% sanity difference, the 60 in the dark, 40% in the light, applies even if the fuse box is turned off or broken, but not if the lights are destroyed. So as far as I understand, it's not the lights being destroyed are basically like the Mare succeeded. The Mare wins there, can hunt at 60% sanity. Other sources of light, such as brought-in equipment or fire lights, do not affect this threshold by any means. So it's literally just lights. All right, we're just gonna keep flicking until it decides to start hunting us. In fact, I should probably bring in the other crucifix. Wait, no. I did it too fast again. And it did, in fact, Mare me yet again. So I need to be a little bit slower. Because I just turn it off, then turn it back on. That's usually how quick I do it. But sometimes the Mare takes a moment to just register that it wants to do its ability. It's also important to note that if you're in a lit room and you're below 40% sanity, that does not mean that the Mare cannot hunt you in the light. It absolutely can. It can hunt regardless of whether it's in the light or in the darkness at 40% sanity. So it's going to be hunting from everywhere. So it's still here. Let's go ahead and I don't think that's 4 meters away. Okay, I'm just flipping just for the heck of it. It did it. It did it. That wasn't me. That wasn't me this time. I mean, technically the last ones weren't me either, but kind of. I just interrupted it is all. So we just got another Mare ability. So now what I'm going to try to do is try to get this Mare to roam. I'm going to leave the lights on. I'm going to go double check our sanity too, because I want to see where we're at. Okay, so we're at 64% sanity. So maybe I'll go ahead and leave the lights off and just show that the ghost can hunt early if it chooses to. We're going to try to lower our sanity just a little bit to get into that threshold. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that our ghost was still... Okay, it just hunted. And we were not in the dark for very long. So let's go double check our sanity, because I believe that is going to be between 50 and 60% sanity, showing that it can, in fact, hunt early. That hunted at 58% sanity. So if I go and turn the lights back on, not only is this Mare going to be not happy that the lights are on, but it'll be unable to hunt. And it's going to try to roam away. If you have a ghost that roams a lot, and you're turning on the lights, it's possible that you have a Mare, but I'm gonna keep the lights on. We're just gonna kind of observe it for a little bit. I'm gonna see if it eventually changes its room. So it's been a while now, and our ghost has not, to my knowledge, made an attempt to move rooms. However, I'm gonna try to make this a little bit more appealing for the ghost, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the lights over here and just see if maybe it'll make its way over here. I don't necessarily want it to be here because it's so easy for the ghost to roam out here and then initiate a hunt. So I want it to be able to like move across the map a little bit more. But let's keep observing and see if it ends up moving. But right now it's still in the same room. Oh no. Our Mare did just turn off the breaker, so I'm gonna go turn the breaker back on. But also, Mares have a higher chance of performing light-shattering ghost events. We have not had our Mare do that, and this is not something that I would use as a standalone to tell if you have a Mare, in conjunction with other behaviors like... Ooh, I'm fairly certain that started in the dining. My lights were on in the kitchen, and the dining room, the lights were not on, and it was able to hunt still. We're gonna go double check our sanity after this hunt. All right, let's go double check our sanity. All right, where's our sanity at? Our sanity is at, so just slightly above 40, I would say. So this still technically falls in the range of being able to hunt only in the dark, and so I'm fairly certain that this ghost hunted from the living room, which is fine. I am, however, going to continue to let it hunt, because I feel like the lower our sanity is, the more likely it is to want to change rooms, and I want it to change its room because I am going to turn on lights to make sure that it can or will want to change rooms. I am, however, going to turn on I just got ability again. Okay, this is still your room. Why is this still your room? Leave. Okay, so we have dips below the 40% threshold is kind of what that tells me here. So the ghost is going to be able to hunt regardless. However, I am going to let it continue to hunt until we get this stinking thing to change its room. Trying to make it as inhospitable as possible for the mare in here. So when you're trying to figure out if you have a mare on like a no evidence run and you cannot get the mare ability, because sometimes the mare ability kind of stinks. Hunted from the kitchen. If you use its behaviors to kind of figure out what it is, that could possibly help you a little bit more. I've had ghosts do mare abilities. Can I get an ability? Let's go! Let's go! We just got a mare ability while it was eventing. I love that. I love that for us so much. Anyway, I'm gonna keep turning these lights on so that... Get out of here. I want it to roam away. Oh, if you have roamy behaviors, using the mare ability alone is not necessarily... That's a light shattering event. Oh man. Okay, so now I won't be able to get a mare ability. I'll be able to get a mare ability elsewhere, but I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to get the ghost out of that room now. That's the only thing. Because this is no longer considered a turned on light, so... You know, what a stinker. So if you have a ghost that roams a lot, and it seems to be hunting from dark rooms, because that's where the mare is going to want to be more frequently. Oh, I just got mare ability there. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me see if I can quickly grab my EMF to just kind of prove that that was not me. Yeah, see, there's that EMF value. Sheesh. Mare be crazy sometimes. If your ghost is changing rooms a lot, maybe it did a mare ability or two. Because they don't always like to do their mare ability. They do not. And sometimes you can get jebaited. You can get jebaited by other ghosts because sometimes they'll just happen to want to turn off the light the second that you turned it on. Maybe they shatter a couple of lights as well. Using all of that information in conjunction with each other can tell you that it's a mare on no evidence runs. I don't know for certain if this ghost has changed its room yet. Let's double check this thermo here real quick. 7.9. This is getting warmer. I want to double check to see if it changed out here. 11, 21. Okay, so kitchen. Kitchen is now its ghost room. So if I keep the lights on here, then hopefully it'll leave. However, I am going to stand not in the ghost room because if the mare is going to perform a light shattering ghost event, it is more likely to teleport to you and shatter the lights in those rooms. I don't want it to shatter the lights in its own ghost room, so I should really stand out here. Our ghost is in the basement. That's the other thing too, is sometimes they'll do really long wanders because they really just don't like the lights. I don't know if it changed its room there or if it just happened to do a long roam at that time. Where is my thermal? I might have to go grab another thermal. I'll be right back. All right, let's double check here. 13.8. It's not getting colder. It's still possible, but that's the ghost room. But I'm just gonna quickly check. No, she's still hunted from the basement. Oh, she's sneaky. Okay, that kind of terrified me. All right, let me go quickly check the temperatures down here now that I smudged it. 8.6. So it is in... That was a delayed mare ability. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna turn the light back on and just leave it because it can't do a mare ability again because remember there's a 10-second cooldown. So I want to make sure that that light's on. I want to see if we can get it out of the basement now by keeping the lights on. And again, I'm not going to stay down in the basement because it's more likely to do a light breaking ghost event if I'm down there, which means it's never going to change its freaking room. It's been a few hunts now and I cannot get the mare out of the basement. It kind of seems like once the mare is in a basement, specifically this basement on this particular map, they don't like to leave. So I think we're probably just gonna call it there. Again, mares are really hard to determine on no evidence runs, but looking at their behavior, are they roaming a lot, especially because like lights are turned on, especially when lights are turned on. If their lights are not being turned on, then that might not have a contributing factor. But did it do light breaking events? Did it do a Mare ability? Again, ghosts can just happen by chance to turn off your lights when you turn them on. But getting multiples is a little bit more of a strong confirmation that you might have a Mare as opposed to just getting one. I have had a Jinn do like 2 or 3 of them on me before, and I went with Mare, and it was in fact a Jinn, and it baited me. So you just have to be very, very careful there. So let's go check how many abilities it used and how many times it changed its favorite room as well. There we go. Let's look at the statistics here. Abilities, it used 7 abilities. It was doing its ability a lot. It changed its favorite room 4 times. I have seen non-mares change their favorite ghost room more than this. However, keep in mind, we started at 100% sanity at the beginning of the mission. The lower your sanity is, the more likely the ghost is to change rooms. So had we spent more time in the map, because we weren't even 0% sanity. I don't know if you saw as we were loading out, we were not quite 0% sanity. However, we did also take a pill at some point. But we spent 33 minutes on the map, changed 4 times. That's not too bad. Had we gone in starting with 0% sanity, we probably would have seen this to be a little bit higher. But that's everything there is to know about a Mare. If you have any questions or anything to add about the Mare, please leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next Ghost Guide video. Bye.